The sun was barely over the horizon when the ground began to tremble beneath us. My comrades and I, hardened soldiers of the Pharaoh, had heard whispers of the Hyksos, a foreign horde from the north, barbaric in nature, but no more than rumours. As we stood on the battlements, we saw them, a sea of chariots and warriors, their foreign weapons glinting ominously in the dawnlight. They moved with a purpose, their lines too perfect, too disciplined for mere barbarians. They were an army, and they were ready to take everything we held dear. The first wave hit us like a storm. Their chariots, unlike anything we had ever seen, tore through our lines with ruthless efficiency. I watched in horror, as men I had trained with, men I had laughed and shared bread with, were cut down like reeds before a scythe. The speed and precision of their attacks were overwhelming. Their arrows rained down upon us, darkening the sky, and with each thud of an arrow finding its mark, a friend fell. Blood flowed like the Nile in flood season, soaking the earth beneath our feet. I remember the screams, guttural primal sounds of men facing the end. The Hyksos soldiers, clad in strange reinforced armor, seemed unstoppable. Our weapons shattered against theirs like pottery against stone. My spear broke on the shield of one invader, and I was left holding nothing but a useless wooden shaft. The stench of death filled the air as we fought in the muck of blood and entrails. I saw a young soldier, barely old enough to hold a sword, take a spear through the chest. His eyes locked onto mine as he fell, and I could see the terror in them. There was no time to grieve. We were being pushed back, step by step, closer to the heart of our city. The Hyksos showed no mercy. They cut down the wounded, trampled the dead, and pressed on relentlessly. I found myself surrounded, fighting desperately with a sword I had taken from a fallen comrade. The clashing of metal on metal, the grunts and cries of men in battle. It was chaos, a nightmare from which there was no waking. I was struck by a blow that sent me to the ground. My helmet flew off, and I felt the warm, sticky flow of blood from a gash on my forehead. As I struggled to rise, I saw the Hyksos leader, his eyes cold and unfeeling, raising his sword to end my life. But the gods favored me, if only for a moment. An arrow, one of ours, struck him in the neck, and he fell beside me, gurgling on his own blood. I did not know how long I lay there, half buried in the bodies of my comrades and enemies alike. When I finally found the strength to rise, the battle was over. The Hyksos had taken the city. Smoke rose from the buildings, and the cries of the dying echoed through the streets. We had lost. Egypt, once the mightiest nation under the sun, had fallen to these invaders. I live now with the shame of survival. My brothers lie dead, our city desecrated, our people enslaved. I tell you this not as a boast, but as a warning. The Hyksos are unlike any enemy we have faced before. They have taken our land, but they will never take our spirit. We will rise again. The gods are with us still, and in time we will reclaim what is ours. But until that day comes, remember the name Hyksos and remember the blood we shed on this dark day.